I guess I'll open up the episode.
Go for it. This is your round 2. This is your big debut. You get another chance to go to the ball, to the gala. You get to be another beautiful princess on your
God, will you
reckoning
shut
day.
up? I'm trying to open the episode. No, I'm just kidding. I guess it's good enough. Hi, everybody. Hello.
No, Jolin.
Welcome.
Okay.
Tis I, Jolin, your most humblest of hosts, accompanied by Victor.
Jolin's the princess in that scenario. In case
I mean, it's 2021. You can be whatever you want.
A beautiful, dazzling princess with pink, flowing locks, unseen by most of the kingdom, even shunned by most. But the prince, ever so stunningly, looked upon you and gazed deep into those curly locks of yours, and he himself said, "I must have thee."
Well, Victor, I may not be a princess, but what I am is a liar.
What?
When I told you, like, before we started, when I told you I was going to go get water, I didn't get water.
What? Jolin, what? How could you do this to me? What?
What
did you get?
I got the nectar de coconut.
You got coconut water?
Mm-hmm.
The most hydrating of all liquids?
Yeah, dude, I'm so hydrated right now.
I'm on the next level of hydration. You wouldn't understand.
I know. I'm so hydrated. Like, you could just like stick a plant in me and it'll start growing. I'm just that hydrated.
You better not eat any watermelon seeds, Jolin, or else that thing's gonna grow in your belly.
But anyways, Victor, what do we have planned for the beautiful people out there?
Well, the lesson planned today, class, shall be learning how to share with your peers. For all of you out there that don't know what peers mean, it's your friends, your classmates. Look to the left of you, look to the right of you. None of you will pass this class. Thank you. Good day.
One of you might die.
And another one will have a traumatic experience that you will repress for the rest of your life.
I'm looking at you, Timmy.
Yeah, that's right, Becky. You better start packing up. You get out of my class. What we're going to talk about today was we're going to talk about music. We're going to touch upon it again. And we're also going to talk about the situation, befalling CD Projekt Red and their newest games, Cyberpunk 2077.
And maybe there's a lesson that we'll all take away from this.
Oh, yeah, hopefully we'll see. You never know what you might learn today. We're all the students. The universe is our teacher. Life, essence, sex. Wait, what, huh? Jolin, you were saying?
Yeah, so to get the ball rolling, this morning when I was making breakfast, I usually kind of, since I have a Google Home Mini in my kitchen, I'll just ask it to play some music. It feels like it puts me in the zone when I cook.
Yeah, you're just doing any chores, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So usually I'll play something that like is pretty neutral in my house that like everyone kind of likes. So that's like Elton John, the Queens. Sometimes I'll put like some Juan Gabriel.
Ooh, just so that it's not like annoying to them in case it's a little too loud or something like that.
Yeah, because my parents don't really like my kind of music. Well, some of my music, like they don't understand like Post Malone and Logic and stuff.
Yeah,
I see. So I'll just play something that I like and they like. But today, I don't know why, I was like, I haven't heard any alternative music in a while. So I'm going to put some like Rise Against. And listening to the Rise Against brought back so many memories of like middle school and high school. And it just made me think about how like anti-establishment I was back in middle school and high school. And I was like, God, those were the days.
Where you were fighting against the man secretly deep down within you, but on the outside you were still following the rules because you knew that you didn't want to go to jail or fail class.
Exactly. I was a kid that was edgy and didn't push his chair in when he left class and skpped in line because I said fuck the system.
Oh my god. Okay, just a little quick side story now that you reminded me of that. So one of our friends was blind in our middle school, and one year or for a few months he was he broke his leg. You remember that? Jolin?
What? Sorry, I was turning on a fan. It's like toasty in my room.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Anyways, just continue with the story. So our blind friend from middle school, he broke his leg one time, and he was we were kind of in charge of bringing him food during nutrition and lunch, because of course he didn't want to leave the classroom, and just less of a hassle for him, whatever. And I remember they never assigned me to do that task. They were always just telling other people, and even like the teacher's assistant or the helper or the teacher's pet would always be in charge of doing that task for him. And then one day, for some reason, one of our teachers was like, "Oh, Victor, you're close friends with him, aren't you? Can you please do me the favor of going to get his lunch for him?" And I'm like, I kind of have plans to play basketball with my other friends, and I was like, but in my mind, I was just like, yeah, whatever, fine, fuck it. Like, he is my friend, and I do care about him, so I'll gladly do it. But they told me that because I was going to pick up food for him, I could cut in front of line of everybody, and the line was already huge by the time we left for nutrition. So I always felt bad that I had to cut in front of everybody, and everybody kept looking at me, and especially since I was a big dude, I knew for a fact they were like making fun of me because of that.
Yeah.
And they told me I could cut in front of the line, and in my mind I was like, no, that's not possible. You can't just cut in front of the line, even if you're handicapped. Like, they don't let you do that, do they? And I doubted myself so much that I didn't cut in front of the line. I just I just got in line and waited my turn. It turns out by the time I got back to the classroom, someone else had already gotten him food. And then I told the teacher, I was like, what did I do with this extra plate of food? And she's like, oh, you could keep it, I guess, or give it to somebody else, because somebody else already went and got him food for him. If someone else was going to do it, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I already told someone else, like, yesterday. I was like, well, okay then. But that doubt I had of, like, you can't cut in front of the line. It just, I don't know, man. It just never occurred to me. So, you were listening to Rage Against the Machine?
Wow, I was listening to Rise Against. Come on.
Sorry, Rise Against.
I do listen to Rage Against the Machines, though.
Oh, okay. I was like, you sure you didn't say Rage Against?
No, I said Rise Against.
But, okay. My bad. I always get those two mixed up. They're so similar.
I mean, only in name and genre, they're not.
No, I know that. But still, I speak fast enough that my mouth can't keep up.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Actually, no, I think I'm the opposite. I speak like, my mind is faster than my mouth.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Like my mouth is trying to keep up with my thoughts. Therefore, sometimes I say things and I thought I said something else. And I'm just like, wait, really?
And yeah, I plead the fifth on that. Anyways, back to my story.
Yeah, I'm like waiting for you to continue with your story here. You're just letting me droll on.
I want you to wallow in your awkwardness and pain, Victor. It fuels me.
That's fine. I mean, that's my whole life, so I'm used to it.
This is why we're friends. I just feed off of your life force.
You've been feeding off me ever since we first met.
Yeah. Anyways, going back to my story. I don't know, like, it brought back a bunch of memories about, like, what I was going through at that time and what this music meant to me. And
yeah,
I don't want to say my taste has changed, because I still think Rise Against is a good band, but my preference of music has changed so much that I'm like, I feel like this change in preference is like resulted in a change in my personality as well, because I'm no longer that anti-establishment, like, loner, like, wanna be alone alternative kid,
like that angsty teenager.
Yeah, it's not a phase, mom, kind of kid.
I grew out of it, so I guess it was a phase.
Kinda. I still enjoy rock. I don't dress like a rocker, because I don't think I can pull it off. Yeah. If anything, I feel like I dress like a proper adult now. Because, like, my go-to, like, winter gear is, like, one of those cozy sweaters. But, like, not the hoodie. It's like a normal sweater, like a crew neck, but it's just fluffy.
Yeah.
And then some, like, black jeans and ergonomic shoes. So I feel like I actually look like a proper adult now.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I like your style.
I like your cut, G. So I don't know, like, I wanted to ask if you had something similar to that, where music brought you down like a trip down memory lane, or what's going on with your music life right now, since we do tend to talk about music on the podcast.
Yeah. So I've never really had phases in the traditional sense like you explained right now. The only time I can remember realizing that I had like phases was in change in genre, not really in change of like attitude or personality. Because I remember switching from like love songs, because I remember that's the only songs I knew, because my sister was the only one that knew how to download songs back when we gave like aids to my computer by using LimeWire.
You can just listen to the radio?
And well, ever since I was young, I never really enjoyed the radio because I always hated the ads in radio.
What?
And yeah, and like just the radio personas, for some reason it seems so ungenuine, it seems so fake, and I never enjoyed the personas. Like the jokes they would say were always funny, because of course they were jokes and I love comedy, but just hearing them be like, hey guys, like welcome to radio KH1, the number one radio in LA, here we go with another hit for all you ladies out there. And I'm just like, okay, just play the music, man. Like, why do you have to put up this whole skit for no reason? Like, nobody really cares. Anyways, I digress. I never really listened to the radio, and the only music I ever listened to or downloaded were the songs that my sister would. And during that time, she was in high school, so she was all lovey-dovey and like R&B music, but like Spanish. So it was always like Rakimi Ken Wine and Daddy Yankee and Usher and what's his name? Anyways, it was music like that. So it was always just like about, girl, I love you, or girl, I want to be with you, or you complete my life, or I'm so depressed because I lost you, or like I'm an idiot, I cheated on you, so therefore you must forgive me because I love you more than anything. That sort of type of genre music. And when I started listening to my own stuff, when I actually had like Spotify or like YouTube and Apple Music, I went into rap, like hip hop. And I started listening to Biggie, Tupac, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eminem, of course. And I listened to rap and hip hop for the longest time, all through middle school and even high school too. There was like huge components of my life with like sprinkled other genres throughout. Of course, I still had my R&B roots. I had like techno in there, especially in high school. I started like listening to techno for a little bit. What's that genre?
Reggae?
That you showed me? Reggae, thank you. Sorry. But whenever I switch from rap, that's when I realized like I am making a transition here, like in my taste in music. And it didn't transition anything from my life, my personal life, but like it was a big enough change that I noticed it. And that was when I switched from rap and hip hop into rock. If it was either heavy metal or hard rock, or even, you know, just normal rock, even country rock at some points, but that was just because of my girlfriend at the time. And oh my god, rock just consumed my life. I was listening to so many bands, so many genres, so many like songs that I didn't even know who the fuck was singing it, but I loved everything about it. The music, the sound, the guitar, the drums, the beats, oh my god, it was so encapsulating that that's when I noticed like it's not the same. It does not give me the same feelings and emotions that like rap and hip hop gave me. Whereas rap and hip hop would like just make me feel kind of cool that I was able to understand the lyrics that they were saying so fast, or maybe like, you know, understand the situation of living in the hood, that sort of stuff. Rock just made me pretty much rock out, you know, enjoy music for the beat and the rhythm and everything it had, and the lyrics sometimes connected with me, but it was mainly just for the sound.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then I found Joji and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, I know, lo-fi music.
Yeah, lo-fi music. I'm kind of currently in that right now, lo-fi. And then online, I just recently found, funny enough, sea shanties.
All right, I'm not.
It sounds so weird.
I'm not judging.
But I never expected to like them. I never even knew that it was a genre of music. I didn't even know there was like new bands coming out singing sea shanties. Yeah, like I kind of secretly always knew I'd like them because of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I see.
And I was like, yeah, these are fun. You know, these are good music. Of course, stuff that people would sing to while they were like on ships for pretty much their whole lives. And TikTok like introduced me to like new bands that are apparently making like new sea shanties, and I'm just like, oh, you know what? This isn't half bad. I think I like this.
Yeah, I've heard a couple like sea shanties and like Gaelic tunes on TikTok.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Oh, especially with like the deep vocals that they imply.
Yeah.
Or that apply. Yeah. Like, I love those. They just, the bass notes, they resonate so well.
Yeah, they do.
What's their, I have a question for you,
What's
Joel.
up?
What's your most awkward or embarrassing memory that a song reminds you of every single time you start hearing that song?
You're gonna have to give me a second. I gotta think about it. Why,
right.
Do you have one?
No problem. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Oh, okay. I thought of one. You know that song, was it Nobody Wanna See Us Together? By, like, Sean Kingston and Akon?
Yeah.
No, wait, sorry. It was Beautiful Girl by Sean Kingston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes,
that song,
classic.
like, makes me cringe so bad.
What? Why?
Because I remember, like in my mind, I never told anyone this. But like in fifth, I think that song came out when we were like fifth graders. But I was crushing on this girl so hard in fifth grade. Like mentally, I dedicated that song to her, and then now I think about it, and I'm just like, oh, I can't take you. The cringe is too strong.
like every time you would hear it, you would automatically be like, "This is for you, baby."
Yeah, like back then. Now, whenever I hear like whenever I hear the beginning, it just goes like Sean Kingston. I'm just like, nope, stop. I can't. I'm being triggered.
Yes, man. Yeah, big time.
That song triggers me so much.
So it's not as kind of similar to your situation, like my song, where the song I which one was it? I forgot the singers, but it's called Ella y Yo.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a Spanish song.
I think I heard of it.
I'm just quickly search it up. Okay, so it's from Aventura, and the song is called Ella y Yo. And every single time I hear that song, it reminds me of my very first boys and girls party.
Ooh.
In 4th or 5th grade. I think it was 4th grade. That like this girl invited me to because I really liked her. Like I had a huge crush on her. And it was her birthday party that her parents were throwing. And it was a big deal because up until that point, like every time you invited people over for your birthday party, it was always like, you know, the same sex friends that you had.
Yeah.
It was always boys. And that way, that also like now thinking about it, it was always made it better because like you could play rough with the guys and, you know, they wouldn't give a shit because they're guys, they're your friends. And then, you know, we always had this mentality as little kids that girls would just get bored at a guy's birthday party. But either way, this girl invited pretty much almost all our class. Except for a few people that she barely even talked to or like didn't really like. And it was a big deal because everybody was like, oh my god, it's gonna be boys and girls there. That means it's a good time to, you know, tell your crush you like her or something like that. So all these guys were just talking to each other saying like, oh, so who do you like? Who do you like? Blah, blah, blah. And then they came up to me and I was like, oh, I don't like anybody. And they're like, what? Yeah, you do. Like, come on, everybody likes somebody. Like, you, come on, dude, tell me, would you like it if this person like maybe asked you to dance or wanted a kiss from you or you just wanted to hold your hand? And I was like, no, not her. And it was like, so you do have somebody. And I was like, fuck, fine, all right. And I told him, I was like, it's the birthday girl. And they're like, they lost their minds. They're like, oh my god, dude, you definitely gotta do it. You gotta give her like a birthday kiss on the cheek or something. And I'm like, and at that time, just kisses in general were like, no, what the fuck, ew. Point is, when we got to the party, she actually, like, apparently she liked me too. And, yeah, and I was super awkward because she, like, hugged me And she was like, thank you so much for coming. It means a lot that you're here. And I was like, yeah, thank you for inviting me, blah, blah, blah. Trying to be polite. Gave her a birthday present. She was like, oh, cool. So there's some drinks. Like, there's the food, chips. You know, sit down wherever you like. Get comfortable. And she went off with her friends. And then after her friends finished talking, she came up to me all nervous and, like, kind of awkward. And asked me if, like, I wanted to see her room.
Oh my god!
And keep in mind, this was like fourth grade.
I know, these are some
like
like
my first
progressive
interaction.
ass fourth graders.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think back then, I think her friends were trying to encourage her to, like, you know, maybe give me a kiss or something, and it was a huge deal back then. So, she was super nervous and like super red, and I myself didn't know what it meant to, you want to see my room. I remember specifically thinking, oh, maybe she has some cool toys or video games she wants to show me. Maybe it's going to be more fun than this party. Hell yeah, I'm down. So I told her, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And we went upstairs to her bed, like, to her house, and her parents were in there. And she introduced me to her parents. And I was like, trying to be polite. Of course, I was very polite. And they were like, oh, you're very kind. You know what? I'm very happy that my daughter has friends like you. Like, thank you so much for being her friend. And she herself did the typical, like, Mom, like, please leave us alone. You're embarrassing me. Like, you don't have to thank him. Like, it's his choice if he wants to be my friend. And I was, like, super caught in between, like, thank you. I don't know what to say. Point is, she took me to her room. And she was, like, sitting next to me, like, on her bed. And we were, like, super awkward. And just, like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And I was like, so what did you want to show me in your room? And she kind of got caught off guard by it. She was like, oh, right. This cool toy over here. and it wasn't even a toy. It was, like, her notebook. And I was like, is that your diary? And she was like, no, it's, I like to draw. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you draw? And she was like, no, I don't like showing anybody. I'm like, no, show me. In the end, she, like, we got real close. We learned, like, I learned so much about her, and me having a huge crush of her, I was, like, super embarrassed and awkward. And afterwards, I think her mom called her, so it kind of, like, cut short the idea she had in mind or something. And after the party, I went home, and, like, a week passed. And everybody, I guess, assumed we were together or something because they were always acting so weird towards me. You. Especially the girls. You know, they would always give me, like, these little side glances. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, what's up her butt sort of thing. Only through one of my close friends at the time did he finally tell me after, like, a week or two that everyone thought we had kissed. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, like, that's why we thought you guys were together. And we thought you guys were a couple now. I was like, no, nothing happened. She just showed me her fucking drawings and that's it. And it turns out it was too late. Like, it was already, like, you know, towards the end of the year stuff. Turns out I found out she liked me too. And that was the end of that. And every time I hear the fucking song Ayo, it reminds me of that situation as a little kid. And it just gets me so cringy. I'm just like, oh, God, I could have just behaved better. I could have handled it better, I suppose.
Well, I mean, you're like a little kid.
Still, but I've always been very self-aware ever since I was young. You know?
I guess.
And to be completely clueless in that situation always makes me feel very weird.
Alright.
Kind of like when your friends are talking about something really smart or something like intellectual around you and you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about and they ask you for your opinion and then you're like, yeah. And then you feel really dumb about it. I kind of feel like that when I think about it.
That's, like, never happened to me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Just insult my intelligence in front of the entire internet, Jolin.
I'm just kidding. That has happened to me. It happens to everyone.
Yeah. Now you say it.
Yeah, anyways,
sure.
Like, tangent from your story. All right. Yes. Did you go to a lot of birthday parties as a kid? Because in my 12 year, or like, how old are we when we graduated high school? 17?
18.
Okay, in my 18 years, I've only ever been invited to like 4 parties that my classmates had, and I've only attended 2.
Really?
Yeah.
What age were you when you attended those parties? Like what school year?
The first one was in 6th grade, and that was my best friend at the time.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that party.
And then I think 7th grade was when our friend was having that party that only Bruce and I were like the only two guys that showed up.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they're, I mean, I can bleep out their
Ooh.
names.
Uh-huh.
It was a party.
Wait, what? You were the only two guys in that party?
The only people that like showed up to the party were me, Bruce, and
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember the story.
yeah,
you told
there
me
was
about
only
that
like
party.
3 of us who went. I don't know if she only invited 3 of us or only 3 of us like actually decided to go.
Yeah.
But it was that, and then I vaguely remember getting invited to like another party in 8th grade, but I didn't go. I think it was
Uh-huh.
I think he invited me, but I didn't go. And then Rocio's quince, which I didn't go out to either.
Wow. Damn. Oh my god, Jolin.
Yeah, but then like I'd never been invited to like, and no one ever like invited me to their parties. I don't know if they never had any, or I just wasn't cool enough.
Maybe it's not that you weren't cool enough, it's just that you weren't close enough to them, I suppose.
Maybe.
Because to answer your question, the only parties I've ever been invited to, like in my school life, were to the people I was close to. Like, obviously, to our friend Rocio, I was her chambelán for quinceañera.
Yeah.
And that party for our friend in 8th grade, I do remember he invited you because he invited all the guys. Like, he invited Sir Edward.
God, just make more work for me bleeping out all these names.
Well, just all the guys. He invited all the guys. And I remember you were the only one from our, like, close friend that didn't show up to that party. And we're like, what? Jolin's missing out on such a cool party because he had, like, for a freaking 8th grade birthday party, he had a goddamn dunk tank.
Yeah, I know.
It was so much fun. I was like, whoa.
I know, I heard. And I couldn't go because I had one strict Asian parent and then just another strict parent. That when I got invited to parties, they were like, what do you need to go to a party for?
Really?
Yeah, I would tell, like, I think I told my mom and dad, like, hey, one of my classmates invited me. And then my dad was like, no, don't go. And I was like, what? Why? They're my friends. And then my dad gave me the excuse like, if something happens, and like basically if something happens, like the parents are gonna take responsibility for it. Or
they're not going to take responsibility for it?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Some weird excuse to like not let me go. And then my mom was like,
yeah.
And then also my dad would say like, well, you're not gonna eat there because they only eat pork.
Oh, I remember that excuse.
Yeah, and then my mom would just be like, you don't know those people. Like, you don't know if their family is like they have bad people in their family, or if something's good, or like if the adults are gonna drink or something.
Ooh, okay.
So those are excuses. Yeah, my parents are strict, dude.
Yeah, because like the strictest parents I usually tend to hear when it comes to, you know, party invitations and you can't go, it's just simply like, I need to meet their parents first. Once I meet their parents, then you could go over to their house, you could go to their parties, whatever. But that's a whole new level of strict that I hadn't encountered.
And that's what I dealt with my whole life until like senior year, when my parents would be like, how come you don't invite your friends to the house? And I'm like, because you tell me never to bring anyone to the house. And they're like, yeah, but you're old enough and I know your friends and they're okay. And I was like, oh great, now I can bring friends.
Yeah, and then that's when we would go over to your house for like game night or movie night.
Yeah, but I don't know, Victor. I'm glad I'm the first person to tell you that there are extremely strict parents out there.
Yeah, I just assumed like the only way a parent could be stricter than the whole, you know, I need to meet their parents first, was just like a girl's dad didn't allow her to go to a party because he was very like a protective dad. That's what I assumed, and even then I'd never encountered a parent like that, so I was just like, maybe not in my neighborhood. Yeah. But now I know it was your parents secretly all along. I know.
And it was funny that like my mom actually let me go to our friend's party because their family was like filled with cholos.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she know that?
Like Bruce and I, we showed up around the same time and like went out to let us in. And then all in the back, it was like that stereotypical like Chicano movie where like all the cousins and stuff are like sitting by like the barbecue drinking and stuff. And then Bruce and I showed up, and I think like her uncle tried to intimidate us, like, hey, look at these pretty boys, man. They got nice hair and stuff. And to me, I was like, I have nice hair.
It's like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I just saw her as a friend. I had like no intention of doing anything, and I was like, Bruce is here.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bruce is more attractive than I am.
Clearly, you could tell he's the ladies' man. Come on, don't even look at me.
I know.
Yeah, but that is stereotypical, like, Latino families, or at least from the ones I've experienced, because every single uncle tries to do that. And now that I myself have an uncle, I would honestly be doing that as well if my nieces have a party. To go back to your question, though, I've only been invited to those parties. So the elementary school party with the girl I liked, that was the first party where the only friends I had was one person that went to that was my close friend at the time. And the girl that was her birthday party, I considered her a friend, but also because I had a crush on her, I wanted to get close to her.
Ooh.
And then, aside from that, I didn't know anybody, or at least I wasn't cool enough with them to chill with them at a party. And then I had the middle school party that you missed out on. I had the high school party for our friend Rocio, where I was the chambelán, and that's about it. I've only been invited and actually attended 3 parties in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I never.
I mean, I invited you later on. Like, I think like senior year, and then after senior year, I invited you guys to like our small family parties.
Yeah, and those are great. Yeah, but it's like back in school days, though. I remember you hearing that like the popular kids were gonna go to somebody's birthday party.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get invited to that because I'm not a popular kid. And then I hear that you're invited, and I was like, oh shit, Jolin's a popular kid. What up? I know him. That's my friend.
Wait, when was this, in high school?
Yeah, the party that you just mentioned.
Which one?
The one where like only 3 of you guys showed up.
That was in middle school.
Oh, well, sorry. That's what I meant. Like in middle school.
Yeah, I was like in high school. I didn't get invited to any. Aside from Rocio's quince, I didn't get even like other friends that had quinces. I didn't get invited to, and even like my Filipino friends in high school that had their debuts, I didn't get invited to either. Edward got invited to a debut.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even get invited to that one either, and I was just like, wow, I thought we were closer.
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know her that well.
I mean, I was helping her try to, because she had a crush on Edward.
Yeah.
And I was helping her, try to, helping her along in any way I could.
Yeah, I know.
And when I didn't get invited, I was like, oh, okay,
sad
I see.
Face.
It's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's funny. High school parties and stuff.
Definitely in middle school, though. Back when I only knew you for like a little bit, I did consider you one of the popular kids.
I didn't consider myself a popular kid in middle school.
I could tell that now, but back then I always thought you knew you were a popular kid, but like you weren't like top tier first ranking popular kid. Like those were other specific people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I still considered you in the group of popular kids because you were always so friendly. Like everybody still knew you. Like even if they didn't like hang around with you or like have full conversations with you, if I mentioned you to anybody, they would be like, oh yeah, I know Jolin, like he's a cool dude, or I have him for a class and he's chill. So I was like, oh Jolin clearly is very popular then.
Yeah, that boosts my middle school self-esteem.
I mean, especially considering that it was middle school, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that considered you to be popular, especially after seeing how many of the female classmates would talk to you and rely upon you. Like you were surrounded by the female body.
I mean, that's how you get popular, man. There's that joke in South Park where like the kids in the elementary school get Facebook accounts, and then Cartman has his own like Facebook internet show that's similar to like the stock exchange, where like he's like, this just in, Clyde and Bebe are fusing their friend group. So if you have friends with Clyde, and he's like, you're about to get a huge boost in friends because as we all know, one female friend is equal to 4 guy friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly that. That's like that's like school logic. The more female friends you have, the more cooler you are, because one female friend is equal to 4 guy friends.
Yeah, it's so weird how that actually does apply. Like even subconsciously, you just automatically think it.
Yeah.
And that was you, Jolin. You were surrounded by so many girls, and not only were you just friends with them, but they relied upon you in a sense where like I remember talking to one of our female friends. And I was like, oh, so what are you doing this weekend? And she was like, oh, I have a family party or something, or I have to go out with my family, but I need to do this work. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And she was like, it's cool. Like, Jolin helped me out understand it, so at least I could finish it much faster. Like, he's so cool. Like, I know I could rely on Jolin to help me with homework whenever I need help. And I was like, oh, Jolin. Damn, you're getting the trust of these girls, too.
I know, but the funny thing is, I bet you, like, in your mind back then I was like dating all these girls or something, or like something was happening, but in reality like nothing was happening. I was just like talking to them and being nice.
Yeah, in my mind I was like this guy is such a player that he could get any girl he wants, but he chooses not to go for any of them.
I wish that
and I was like,
true.
he must be a god of some sorts or something.
And then
like
you
that.
met me in high school and you were like, oh, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's actually
He's
really
very
awkward
friendly,
and
holy
has
shit.
no girl skills. It's kind of a loser, but like a likable loser. You know, if that makes sense.
No, funny enough, I actually like my low self-esteem kicked in when I realized that, because instead of like thinking negatively of you, it only made me think negatively of myself. Because I was like, this guy is so nice and friendly. I could have been like him in middle school. Why wasn't I like him? I could have like been talking to everybody. Like, why was I so awkward and all that stuff?
I don't know, man. It just be like that.
Yeah, that's life. You know, in middle school, that clearly is the awkward phase for most people.
All right, what else do we have planned, Victor?
So let's move on to Cyberpunk
Ooh.
and CD Projekt Red.
Yeesh.
So recently on the news media, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff, CD Projekt Red, I think one of their presidents or at least one of their higher ups, issued an apology to the public. And I myself haven't seen the apology video. I don't know much about it, but you're the one that brought it to attention to me. And have you seen it, Jolin?
I have not. I just saw like one of those gaming channels on YouTube speak about it.
Yeah.
But essentially what they took away from the video is that the higher ups at CD Projekt Red kind of like took the bullet for everyone, saying like, look, we know the game was not what you were expecting when it launched on PlayStation and Xbox. Fortunately, the PC people have a good experience. It's not the best, but it's better than what the console players are receiving. But we just want to let them know, like, it's not the developers' fault. It's not our coders. It's not like the people who actually worked on the game's fault. It's our fault. Like, ultimately, we had the final word on the project, and we decided to release a faulty product. And for that, like, we apologize. So if anyone's to blame, it's us.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So before I watched it, like when I would just see like the thumbnails on YouTube, I assumed it was like a bigger problem. Like they found like actual game breaking bugs, or they found out that like they were stealing money from the customers, or something much worse, that, you know, it pretty much demanded an apology. As for what it really is, it sounds like, you know, they're just being kind. Like they're being respectful, if anything.
Yeah, and I mean they end the video with like outlining a roadmap of what they want to do with Cyberpunk next. So obviously there's a lot of like hot fixes and patches, and then I think maybe in March or something there's like a DLC that they have planned. But they do plan on fixing the game. I feel like this is a very similar to like No Man's Sky, where it had a bad launch, but over time the game will get better.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still kind of like congested. Something that like one of the guy who speaks in the video said that kind of shot like CD Projekt Red, like they shot themselves in the foot, was that they don't want to take away like staffing and time from other projects that they're working on at CD Projekt Red just to fix Cyberpunk.
Oh.
And that's kind of like you know, like it's a weird thing to say, because this one, like CD Projekt Red was riding on a high before the game came out because of The Witcher.
Yep.
Like there's so much support on their side. They gave away free DLCs. They fixed a bunch of stuff. They gave the community what they wanted. And for them to say like that they don't want to take away resources from other projects to fix Cyberpunk is kind of like contradictory to what we know CD Projekt Red for.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, it's like when The Witcher came out, it wasn't perfect. Like it had bugs, and it also was kind of like, you know, a glitchy or buggy game. Like it nowhere, I believe, like I myself didn't play The Witcher when it first came out, but I do remember hearing people have like problems with it, but it just wasn't to the extent that, you know, Cyberpunk is having right now. But even then, it was enough to, get some people, feeling bad or negative towards the game. And then now, once they actually fixed it and they started releasing all these DLCs that expanded the game, people are loving it. They're doing nothing but praising it and almost like going to the lengths of calling it their favorite game, in existence. So don't fucking hate Cyberpunk right away when it could have a potential to be just as amazing as The Witcher.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is a weird thing for them to say about that. It's like, especially after so much like negative backlash they're getting right now from the community, it would be smarter to fix the game as much as possible, as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, so let's see how that plays out for them. But
this is a completely different topic, but like I need new headphones because these are like dying.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Like dying how? Like you can barely hear me?
Like barely.
Put up the volume, man.
Dude, the volume's at 100.
Oh, damn. Have you checked the settings in Discord?
No, it's the earphones themselves.
Oh, then yeah, time to buy some new ones, man.
I know, but I don't have the money.
Because I spend it all on gambling.
Because I spend it all on PC parts.
Yeah. But going back to Cyberpunk, what's your position on like this whole situation that like CD Projekt Red has been going under? Like, do you consider it fair that they had to issue an apology? Are you leaning more towards like forgiving CD Projekt Red for their mistakes, or are you like on the side of like the public where they just completely hate it, or at least not hate it, but at least they have a very negative view towards CD Projekt Red after this mistake?
I mean, I do think that like an apology is owed because like they did have a lot of time. It took a lot of time in development. There was a lot of delays. And I mean, sure, people would have gotten mad if they delayed again, but I don't think all of this would have happened if they had just delayed it again.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
And at the same time, like I think out of Poland, because that's where CD Projekt Red is from, the government themselves have said that like if the game isn't fixed or at the level of which they intended it to be, where it's actually what they promised, then the government of Poland is actually going to take legal action against CD Projekt Red.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I have not actually heard of that. Where did you hear that?
It was on one of those like video game channels.
Damn, that's crazy. I actually never heard of a government going after a company like that.
Dude, you know what you sound like to me right now? Because like,
what?
When I said my earphones are dying, they literally just like they're like on their last leg.
What?
So you know what you sound like? You sound like one of those really old timey like announcer guys. That's like really far away with like no bass or treble in their voice. It's like, now introducing cream puff snacks. Give them to the missus. That's what you sound like to me right now.
Damn, what type of earphones are you using, man? That sounds like that.
Those Apple earphones.
You don't have any. What about your like Razer or what? Didn't you have a Razer earphones?
I had Razer a headset, but it broke.
How did it break?
The earpieces themselves, like the pleather, started to just fall apart, and then the earphones themselves just blew out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's different.
I don't think they blew out necessarily, but I think like the cord, like something inside of the wires, like broke.
Oh, so it's like the speakers were fine, but the connection was the thing that just stopped working.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they gave me, I got my money's worth out of them. I had them for like 5 years.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's great. Yeah, I thought you only had them for like a year or two max.
No, I had them for like 5, and then the same thing is happening with these Apple earphones. Like, I think there's something inside of the cord, or just the speakers themselves are just fucking dying. So I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, like I recently bought new earphones when on my trip to Mexico, which was back before the lockdown started, like literally a month before the lockdown started. So I was lucky enough to come back, and now the earphones I recently bought, one of them is completely shot. Like I can't hear anything from it. But I don't think it's the speaker in the earphones. I think it's the cable.
Yeah.
I think something happened that it just shut off the left earphone. It was weird.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
But I've seen some that are a good price. Like they're like $40 for a good headphone, like a good headset. Especially like a gamer type headset.
I know, but the really big thing that's like stopping me from just getting them is like I don't have Bluetooth in my computer.
Well, most of them are wired. I know,
but
especially the one I mentioned, like
if I want to just get like a cheap, like wireless earbuds, I can use them with my phone. But then it's like I still need earphones for my computer because I don't have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on it.
Well, so you're saying you're focusing on Bluetooth and like that's what you want?
No, but it's just like a lot of the options that I've seen online. A lot of them are like wireless, or they have wireless capability.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the ones I've seen that are cheap, they're like $30 or $40. Those are all wired. Like Bluetooth usually bumps it up to like $60.
Yeah, I might have to just get some soon.
Some regular ones, like wired ones, because
yeah, just like some normal ass earphones.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I keep getting the sensation that like this whole conversation I've been talking about wired earphones, and you're so adamant on me like trying to convince you to get Bluetooth for some reason.
No, it's just
you get me.
No, I'm like in my own world on this because I remember like I could have gotten like a good deal on like those Raycon earphones, not sponsored by the way, but just.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, or like my sister wanted to give me like these Bose headphones, but they're like only wireless, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe I should just get like a Wi-Fi chip for my PC and just have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and just never use it, except for that one time that I have to use it.
I mean, I don't know. It's always that whole like saying where it's like it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, but it's like. For the price of Bluetooth earphones and a Wi-Fi chip, you could get like 2 wired earphones that are pretty good.
I know. I'm just... it's just stuff that I'm dealing with, okay?
No, I get you. It's like the whole situation where like your dad comes home from work and you're like, "Oh, Dad, I need $20," and he's like, "But why would she say that to me?" And you're like, "Dad, are you okay?" He's like, "Huh?" He's like, "I need $20." Yeah, I know. Do you agree? Like, do you think she would mean that? I'm like, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I don't
what
know.
Brand of earphones would you go for, though?
I don't know. I don't know any earphone brands anymore.
Really?
I mean, the only brand that
like the ones
I really remember are like Skull. But see, because like when it comes to earphones, I don't want the ones that like go in your ear anymore.
Yeah, you want the ones that just go like outside of your ear.
Yeah, because I feel like the ones that go in your ear, like they'll give me like an ear infection.
Well, to be more precise, I guess, or more specific, the ones that go into your ear canal.
Yeah.
No, I get you. Yeah, those, I don't know, I'm very iffy when it comes to those that go inside your canal, because I know they won't give you an infection, but at the same time, it's like, it feels weird and you have to get used to it. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it stretches my ear out, so therefore I need to get bigger ones as I use them more often.
Yeah.
It sounds weird.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Good luck on your search, Jolan.
Thank you. I mean, that's all I have. That's all I have really to talk about the podcast. The earphone just fell out. No, I can't hear anything. Yeah, that's all I really had planned for the podcast. I don't have any other talking points or things that I want to discuss.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, we had a good, nice conversation about like the past when we brought up music.
That is true.
It just brought on memories as well.
That is true.
So you wanna leave it this podcast here?
Yeah. I think this is a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, you heard the man, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for this episode's Cafe Talk. We really appreciate you joining us on another episode, and if you made it this far, thank you so much. You know, we love you guys, and we appreciate you as always. And let us know, you know, down in the comments below, what type of genre do you love listening to in music? What type of embarrassing memories does a specific song have for you? Maybe help out Jolan in letting him know some type of earphones that he could use. But as for that, thank you again, and hopefully we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, bye everybody.
Stay beautiful.